very warm welcome to Let's Get It On with me, Suzanne Letting. Each week we're going to be listening to brand new releases from artists all over the globe. So now's the time to grab that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, or even a glass of wine as we get lost in some fabulous music.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, hello and a very warm welcome to your Saturday night with me, Suzanne Letting. I'm back. Gosh, have you missed me? Because I have missed all the music submissions coming in every week, and I tell you what, I've got a bumper pack to get through. I've got so many fabulous new music tracks to share with you. I don't know where I'm going to start, so I better kick off tonight's show with a brand new EP called Too Early. This is from Sorrow Stories with Christopher Hall, and it's an absolutely brilliant track to get us in the mood for tonight's show. So don't go far away, because I tell you what, you're going to be rooted to your seat tonight. So let's get the ball rolling with Tina Forlorn, aka Sorrow Stories with Christopher Hall. This is Too Early. Whoa, didn't you just love that intro there? That was Sorrow Stories with Christopher Hall. That was Too Early from the new EP, Too Early. I can't wait to share some more. Now I'm going to take you on a wonderful journey with one of the crowd, my partner in crime on XBTV3, and sometimes we collaborate on music together. This is an absolutely astonishing track from Steve Mainwaring. It's so cinematic, absolutely beautiful. Reminds me a little bit of Vangelis. This is Where the Skies Breathe. Wasn't that beautiful? Do you know what? Having been away for so long, I am so excited to share this music with you tonight because it just gets better and better and better. It feels like I've been away for absolutely ages, and I missed doing the show, and Duncan and Paul did a wonderful job of stepping in for me for the last two shows. I tried to get as many done before I left as I possibly could, but do you know what? I am just so excited because I've got so much new music to share with you and new artists for you to get to know, like and love. The next one is just that, a new artist that we've not had on the show before. This is Seven Rising with a track called Still. Now, Seven Rising is a cinematic electronic music project rooted in Cinewave, and I think you'll get that when you listen to all of the elements that are in this track. It is simply beautiful. It's a forward-thinking blend of electronica, synth-driven songwriting, and film-ready sonic architecture. Now, I love that phrase, sonic architecture. Well, that's what you're in for with Still from Seven Rising.
You say my name like it's a test, like it's a game we haven't played yet. I follow you and watch you dance. You slowly move into my hands. You're leaning close, I feel your breath. I wanna take it, but I second guess. Hold you still.
That was a bit of sonic architecture there from Seven Rising with Still. You know, I often talk to you about the artists that are on my show and the music that they create. I often describe them as musical artists, and I think that sonic architecture is a wonderful expression and a great way to explain all the elements that the artists put in to their tracks, because each layer is built upon to create that sonic experience that we all like and love. So what have I got coming up next for you? Well, Darwin McD and Huguenot have got a brand new EP out, and from that EP I am going to share a track with you called Birds Away. This is the remixes, and it's absolutely brilliant. There's a couple of tracks on there which I've got for you, and I will be sharing those in the coming weeks. But for now, enjoy the Matt Pop Club remix of Birds Away.
Birds away, scaring the birds away. Birds away, scaring the birds away. Birds away, scaring the birds away. Hanging around, hands in the ground, here in my garden. Somewhere in the back, where us guys can just relax. The birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, you find yourself next to me. Walking through the gate, dancing in the shade, I think you're in love with me. I think we're in love. I think you're in love with me. I think we're in love. I think you're in love with me. Birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, you find yourself next to me. Walking through the gate, dancing in the shade, I think you're in love with me. Watching summer go, seeing when to stay. There's something I have to say. Some things that you know, some things that I have to take to my grave. The birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, you find yourself next to me. Walking through the gate, dancing in the shade, I think you're in love with me. I think we're in love. I think you're in love with me. I think we're in love. I think you're in love with me. Birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, you find yourself next to me. Walking through the gate, dancing in the shade, I think you're in love with me. If you are my love, if you are my trust, scare the birds away. If you wanna us, you need someone to trust, scare the birds away. Scaring the birds away. Birds away. Scaring the birds away. The birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees, you find yourself next to me. Walking through the gate, dancing in the shade, I think you're in love with me. Dancing, dancing in the shade, dancing, 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 dancing in the shade, dancing, dancing.
and Huge Knot with Birds Away remix. That was the Matt Pop Club remix. And did you know that Matt Pop is a producer, composer and a remixer? And he's worked for Erasure, RuPaul, Kim Wilde, Ace of Base, Steps and many, many more. What a fabulous track that was too. And I've got a few more to share with you like that coming up over the next week or two. Next up is Dreamer Project. This is an absolutely beautiful track for you to get lost into. Certainly one, like all of them tonight, are going into the Beastie Tracks for 2026. You'll find that on Spotify. Links will be on my Facebook page. This is Ambient Love.
I see the cracks you try to hide, the faded colors on your side, every scratch along your skin, every place the hurt got in. You say you're broken, say you're worn, like something old, like something torn. But I don't flinch, I don't look away, I stay right here, I choose to stay. 'Cause I know storms don't last forever, I know scars can pull us closer together. Love will show the way through the longest night. Even when we stray, there's a steady light. When the ground gives in and the road feels thin, love will show the way back home again. You're not the damage, not the pain. You're not the way you had to carry, like broken bones that heal in time. They come back stronger than before. Every wound becomes a seam where strength is stitched into the skin. You're more than what you've been through, and I love all of you. Love will show the way when the cold comes in, through the doubt and gray, through the shape you're in. Even hurt can grow into something whole. Love will show the way that I already know. If we bend, we don't break. If we fall, we don't fade. Every tear leaves a mark that still knows how to glow in the dark. Where you hurt is where you're strong. That's where you learn to hold on. I'll trace every line you bear, like a map that led me there. Love will show the way, I won't let you go through the slow decay.
What a beautiful track that was. That was Dreamer Project there with Ambient Love. Dreamer Project is the creative brainchild of the Norwegian composer Kjell Ingebrigtsen. I hope I've said that right. He composed music since he was a teenager, and in 2010 he started working on his first solo album and has gone from strength to strength. That was an absolutely beautiful track. Now next up is another favourite of mine, JXNS. This is Faith Keeps Moving featuring Noah Lund, and I think you're going to enjoy this one just as much.
but the rhythm stays. Faith keeps time in different ways.
Absolutely wonderful. That was JXNS, who is a Swedish electronic artist there, with Faith Keeps Moving featuring Noah Lund. Now, I can't tell you very much about Noah Lund because he's not done anything else as far as I can see on Spotify, but he has appeared on a few of JXNS tracks. And that's what I like about the artists that you listen to on my show, is that they collaborate with each other. There is no such thing as egos and competition. They work hard and they play hard and they blend beautiful music together, each complementing each other to create the tracks that we're getting to know, like and love. And you know, that track Faith Keeps Moving is something I witnessed while I was away. I was minding my own business in a little shop in a small town that we were visiting just for a coffee break as we were on our way to somewhere else, and I heard this little voice behind me saying, "Oh, I buy this jewellery because it's so beautiful and there's a lovely story about this jewellery." So I turned round and this little lady called Agnes was standing behind me. She probably was about 85. And she started to tell me about this jewellery that was made by an artist who went over to Cambodia, and she collected all of the shrapnel, all of the weapons of such destruction together, and melted it all down and made beautiful jewellery out of it, and all the proceeds from the jewellery go back to Laos to help the children of Cambodia. I was so touched by this story. I said, well, what a beautiful thing to do. So she did no more than pick up a pair of earrings and said, "I'm going to buy these for you." And I went, "No, you're not going to do that." And she insisted. So we had this little tussle, me and this little 85-year-old lady, in this shop having a tussle about buying a pair of earrings. So in the end I rushed out, went to get some cash because I never carry any cash on me, and I dived back into the shop and she was just at the till ready to pay for them, and I said, "No, you must not do that. Please, I will buy the earrings and I will always remember you." And I took a photograph, and you'll see that on my Facebook page, a little picture of Agnes. I can't get in touch with her now because obviously she's all the way over in New Zealand, but I just thought acts of kindness happen every day, don't they? And if only everybody took a leaf out of her book and pay it forward. What a lovely thing and a lovely gesture that will stay with me forever. And when I wear those earrings, they are not very fancy, they're not very expensive, but it's the thought that went behind her actions. She absolutely wanted to buy them for me for no other reason than she wanted to help those children in Laos. So that is for me Faith Keeping Moving Forward, and thank you JXNS for that beautiful track. Next up, we've got a brand new album from Ex Hyena. This is track number 2 from the album. This is Vanishing Edge from the album XX Your Love. Did that get your shoulders shuffling? Because it certainly did mine. That was Ex Hyena there. This is from the album XX Your Love. That was track 2. That was Vanishing Edge, and I'll be sharing more from that album with you over the coming weeks. Next up, and the last one for set 1, Amy Rowbottom. I don't know anybody else who churns out as much fabulous music as this young lady does. She works exceptionally hard, and I believe this track has gone to number 1 in the iTunes chart. What an achievement for her. This is Strip Show Tease from Amy Rowbottom, and she's going to take us nicely into set 2 just for you here on Let's Get It On with me, Suzanne Letting, on Spectrum On Air and also My Indie Radio.
I guess I just wanna get undressed, so take that shirt off your back. I guess I just wanna get undressed, unzip this dress for me now. Dance, dance, dance for me, be my strip show tease, honey. You know I kinda like it, kinda like it. When we're in this twilight zone, honey, I'm up for this show, honey. Baby, all night long with the lights down low, and we can go, 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 oh, go, 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 oh, go, 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 oh, go, 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 go. There's no time for talking, baby. Tonight I'll let you take control. Spin me round and rock my world. You can be my cowboy, show me what you got. Stick your skin to me, it's getting hot. Take the lead in my dreams to the river. Dance, dance, dance for me, be my strip show tease, honey. You know I kinda like it, kinda like it. When we're in this twilight zone, honey, I'm up for this show, honey. Baby, all night long with the lights down low, and we can go, 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 oh, go, 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 oh, go, 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 oh, go, 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 go. Save me a dance, I want a bit of romance. Let's take a chance, don't let this moment pass. Exotic, electric, uncaged, unchained. Boy, I lose myself every time we touch, baby, say my name. Let's go again and again. Dance, dance for me, be my strip show tease, honey. You know I kinda like it, kinda like it. When we're in this twilight zone, honey, I'm up for this show, honey. Baby, all night long with the lights down low, and we can go, 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 oh, go, 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 oh, go, 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 oh, go, 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 go. Dance, dance, dance for me, be my strip show tease, honey. You know I kinda like it, kinda like it. Dance, dance, dance for me, be my strip show tease, honey. You know I kinda like it, kinda like it. Let's go again and again.
Well, that was the amazing Amy Rowbottom there with Strip Show Tease, an amazing young lady who works incredibly hard. I think she's got another new release, and I've got that ready to share with you in the coming weeks. Well, what have I got for you in set 2? Well, the first thing is it's time for you to get that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, that glass of wine, or a pint of ale, as Lord Duncan of the Folly would say, because set 2 is going to blow your socks off. I'm going to start it off with Black Boiler featuring Door. This is Jestem 2. This is an amazing singer-songwriter, and I think you're going to enjoy this. It's something very different, like a lot of the tracks that I'm going to share with you in set 2. They're all very different from what you've just heard in set 1.
Jest noc, nie ta romantyczna, ta techniczna, z kablami, z pulsującym światłem. Nie pytam, czy to miłość. To jest moment pomiędzy decyzją a ruchem. Pomiędzy światłem a tym, co zostaje pod powiekami. Jestem tu. Jeśli mnie słyszysz, nie dotykaj. Zostań. Jeszcze jedno uderzenie. Jeszcze jeden oddech. Jestem tu. Jestem. 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 Jestem tu. Jestem w impulsie. Jestem w napięciu. Jestem w drżeniu mięśni. Teraz nie czeka. Teraz się dzieje. Sekunda naciska na sekundę. Czas zapada się do środka. Chwila, wiecie, chwila, aż zostaje tylko ruch. Jestem tu bez alibi. Bez narracji, bez zgody na znikanie. Bo ciało wie wcześniej. Ciało reaguje szybciej. Ciało nie negocjuje. Czujesz? Oddech przyspiesza. Serce wybija rytm. Nie do zatrzymania. Jestem tu. To nie jest symbol. To nie jest slogan. To jest nacisk. Jestem tu wbrew planom. Wbrew wykresom. Jestem. I to wystarczy. Jestem tu.
Pulsating sonics there from Black Boiler. That was featuring Door with Jestem 2. Now, Black Boiler is on Spotify. I can't tell you too much about them. come on, Black Boiler, update your Spotify artist page, please, because that's where I will be going to tell all our listeners all about you and your music. Now, I've got to say something about Mixcloud. My show is uploaded to Mixcloud, so you can go and listen to it again. And something quite astonishing happened while I was on holiday. I started off the holiday with about 330 listeners and subscribers to my Mixcloud show, and suddenly I've jumped up to nearly 800. So thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much for becoming a subscriber of my Mixcloud show. I hope you're enjoying tonight's show as much as you have the previous shows. Please do share and shout out, because your ears are so important for these emerging artists. They really are. They make such a difference knowing that we are reaching your ears for them. Now then, next up, Vague Notion has a new album out, Glow, and I will be sharing that with you as it's come into my inbox, but this is a track from there, and this is Peace Dub.
Right from
That was Vague Notion there from the album Glow. That was Peace Dub. Now, Vague Notion are an indie electronic post-punk band from BC, Canada, known for their unique sound palette that creates a captivating fusion of rock and electronica. They are visionary in their combined abilities as both musicians and producers to push genre boundaries and bring their listeners to something entirely unique and contemporary, and I think they've done that with this album. I'm so looking forward to sharing that with you. Now, next up is a new release from me and Arsene Teeb. This is an EP that's just come out on the 6th or 7th of March. This is Straight Out. Now, this was a different track for us to record because what Arsene wanted to do was to create an atmosphere in this track of being at the edge of nothing, absolutely nothing. You know, when you hit a point where you're not sure where you want to go and you're in that dead space of not knowing what to do, but you're in a void of absolutely nothing, and those are the spaces where creativity starts and life journeys alter and your mind moves onto a different platform. So this is Arsene Teeb and this is me as Suzanne Letting, not as Suni this time, and this is Straight Out.
Absolutely nothing.
That was Arsene Teeb there, and featuring myself with Straight Out. There is an EP out on Spotify and it's already been played on the Jeff Burson Synthscape shows. Thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing that. It was a really strange track to do because what I wanted and had to do was put my mind into, and I often do it, I don't know about you, on holiday in a swimming pool. I love a swimming pool all to myself. I set myself little challenges, but when nobody else is there, you can really enter into your own realm, your own thoughts, your own feelings, and sometimes that's the best space you can put yourself into, to just have a little recharge and just think about what you're doing, where you're going. And sometimes, you know, if I'm in an echo space, maybe I'm visiting a church, I'll make some sounds and I love the echo that comes back from that sound. Sometimes it comes back to you and it gives you a different, I don't know, perspective. It's just such a wonderful space to put yourself into. So what am I going to follow that up with for you next? Well, back in October 2024, Together Apart was remixed and inspired by the brainchild of Martin James from Mothloop. Following the original compilation release as part of the Decontaminated album, the track was generally praised for its atmospheric and dramatic shifts from the original. The brand new 2026 remaster raises the sonic bar, being carefully constructed and reshaped by Toby Campan's mastering genius. This is Tipsy Eyes' remix version of Mothloop's Together Apart. There you go. That was Mothloop with Together Apart, but that was the Tipsy Eyes remix of that track. So who are Mothloops? Well, their beat fusion plays havoc with the contours of post-punk funk, new wave and future synth pop. They just want to dance, and I don't blame them. That was a very atmospheric track. Love that. Now I've got a new artist for you next. This has been sent in to me by Ruth Garcia Nunez de Arenas from Spain. This is Low Blows. I've got the album. This is the Low Blows album, and this is one of their tracks which I chose for you tonight because I've got the others and I will be sharing those in the coming weeks. This is Fix Me, and that's kind of what I wanted when I came back from my New Zealand trip, because I came back with a DVT from all of the flights that we did. We did 5 different flights and I came back with a DVT. Thankfully, it's all sorted and I'm on medication, and hopefully within the next 6 weeks I will see that go. But for now, I want you to enjoy Low Blows, new artist introduced to us by Ruth. This is Fix Me. That was new artists there for you all the way from Barcelona. That was Low Blows from their album Low Blows, and that was Fix Me. What a great track that was too. I'm looking forward to sharing the rest of that album with you over the next coming weeks. Now, next up, the lovely Jeff Burson sent this straight to me. This is Mesh. For those of you who know Mesh, you're going to enjoy this. This is a brand new track called This World from the album This World.
like it's cut from your mind. It's a wasted thought. You just wait to be caught. There's a world out there they don't want you to share, but you want that mess. Knock, knock with your pound of flesh. You can't release the pressure. You can't live with the pain. You can't have the things they do, 'cause you and me don't think the way they do. Do what you can. That's all it takes to be someone in this world. Don't live for the man. That's where it breaks, and you'll be at peace with this world. There's a crack in the shell. There's a hole into hell that you can't fit through. They're not waiting for you. There's an undertow, but it's taking you home, and you might just drown. Splash, splash with your feet on the ground. You can't release the pressure. You can't live with the pain. You can't have the things they do, 'cause you and me don't think the way they do. Do what you can. That's all it takes to be someone in this world. Don't live for the man. That's where it breaks, and you'll be at peace with this world. It doesn't make you wrong if it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you wrong if it doesn't make you happy. With time enough you can be. With time enough you can be. You can't release the pressure. You can't live with the pain. You can't have the things they do, 'cause you and me don't think the way they do. Do what you can. That's all it takes to be someone in this world. Don't live for the man. That's where it breaks, and you'll be at peace with this world. Do what you can to be someone in this world. And you'll be at peace with this world.
Hailing from Bristol in the UK, alternative electronic band Mesh is Mark Hawkins and Richard Silverthorne. They started making dark, emotional, synthesized and sample-based music in the early 90s, and it was the sudden notice from Future Music magazine that introduced the sounds of Mesh, landing 3 of the band's tracks on the magazine's CD compilation. What a track that was too, and what a EP. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to share that with you. So that was Mesh with This World from the new EP This World. Definitely one to go and grab. The band also has a forthcoming 9th studio album, The Truth Doesn't Matter, which is going to be released on March the 27th, followed by the album tour across Germany and Europe. Time to get your tickets now. Next up, Dark Minimal Project has got a new collaboration. This is featuring D-Boy, Je T'aime, and this is their new track, And Sometimes.
I couldn't explain who in my heart. I couldn't explain why. I couldn't explain the stirring apart that's bursting in my mind. I couldn't explain the ego won't die. It drowns every cry. I couldn't explain the truth that I find. It's cruel and unkind. Sometimes wasted, time wasted, nothing in return. I'm just a plane to take my pride, and I can see lies. Oh, it's a shame to live your life. I'm ready to know lies. I play the game, share hopes, and empty alibis. You spoke my name and turned away with silence in disguise. Sometime wasted, time wasted, nothing in return.
Cet amour éphémère où souvent je me perds. Cette envie et cette peur qui m'attirent vers ailleurs. Parfois j'ai cru en toi. Parfois. Parfois. Parfois, parfois,
I couldn't explain who in my heart. I couldn't explain why. I couldn't explain
was electro dark band from France, Dark Minimal Project. That's Guillem, and Guillem, thank you so much for sending that in to me, featuring D Boy Je T'aime with Sometimes. Really enjoyed that track. I told you set 2 was going to get you thumping your feet, didn't I? Well, the last one for set 2 is a really important one because it's going to lead us into set 3, which, as you know, is the palette changes, the opportunity for other artists from other genres to have their music on the show as well. But it's also telling us about the important things that should matter to us, things that we should be caring about, and things that we should be taking notice of. So this is Methyl Orange's new track. This is called Important Things, and that's going to lead us nicely into set 3. So don't go away. I've got some more fantastic new emerging artists to share with you this evening.
Empathy, equality, humanity, compassion. Important things. Important things. Empathy, equality, humanity, compassion. Important things. And so shines a good deed in a weary world. Empathy, equality, humanity, compassion. shines a good deed in a weary world.
You're listening to Spectrum On Air, the colourful voice of radio. Broadcasting live on SpectrumOnAir.com, Get Me Radio and Mixcloud Live. And never fear, if you've missed your favourite programme, just find our Listen Again service on Mixcloud.com. Spectrum On Air, putting the colour back into radio.
That was the wonderful Mr. Steve Blacknell. Now you're going to be seeing Mr. Blacknell on the TV screen in your living room because he is currently in production with his new TV waffle show. So he's inviting some really prestigious guests who you are going to enjoy listening to and watching on the TV. We are in production at the moment. We're just getting everything ready. It's going to be a fabulous show. He's really excited about it, and so are we, because he's going to have John Altman, who you will know as Nasty Nick, going to be on the first show, and he's also going to give us a few secrets that not many of us know. So he's going to be doing a Parkinson type show with 3 guests. I won't tell you the other 2. Promos will be coming out when we're nearly ready and we've filmed and recorded the shows. So watch this space. I will be giving you some heads up when it's coming out. Now then, it is time to get that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, that glass of wine or a pint of ale. And I want to say a shout out to Lynn, to Brenda and to Tony, who accompanied us on our trip around New Zealand. We had great fun with those 3. We had some fantastic meals. If you're all listening, a big wave from me all the way from Suffolk, and hope we can see each other again soon because we had such a lot of fun. Not often do you meet a lot of people. There was 31 of us on that coach, and Lynn especially was so supportive when I went up in a helicopter. Yes, I did. I went up in a helicopter onto a glacier and I was at the front. It was the most awful position to be in because I could see above me, below me, all around me, and I held on for dear life as we climbed up this glacier and landed on it, only to be told that the snow is quite soft and to be careful where we walked because there were great big holes underneath the snow and you could fall in them and never be found again. You know, it doesn't bode and give you confidence, does it, when you know that you're treading on very soft snow? But it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm glad I did it. But Lynn was so grateful when I got back down because she knew how terrified it was. So thank you, Lynn. And also thanks to Wendy, who I grabbed her hand throughout the whole of that journey. I don't think she had any blood left in it by the time we got down. So thanks, Wendy, for being my comrade in arms in that helicopter. Never again. It's one of those things you do once in a lifetime and then that's it. I will not be doing it again. I don't think my nerves could stand it. Anyway, I should stop talking because we're racing through tonight's show and I knew we would, the first one back after my holiday. And I've got a fabulous lineup for you in set 3. First up is Mac HD and Kobe Johns with TMI. You're going to love this and I'll tell you a little bit about them when we come back.
Everybody try to ride a wave, them don't know say the flow too hard. But dive in the ocean every day, I'm reminded the world is mine. Man, I get time for them agenda, little boy try to waste time. No time, Mr. DJ play my tune for the girls with the wickedest one. One more time. Everybody try to ride a wave, but the standard is way too high. Dreams have been keeping me awake, so me get up and make big vibes. With the kind of body you are gifted, every day feeling I'ma be there. Sweating but just let your cold hearted. What you get for getting me started? I wanna get through to you tonight. Say you want me on your time. Baby, it's getting late. Stop teasing me, sweetheart. Say you get lonely in the night. That just sound like TMI. When you stop teasing, I'll stop pleasing you, I'ma tell her, you know it's a perfect timing. I did feel your body, how you roll and whining. Mr. DJ got the pretty girls excited. Everybody shut the words but far from silence. Where you there, say you go pull up, oh Romano, keep me waiting in vain, no. I say now quality time, you go get from me. One lie, I know what carry you play, oh. Last 2, 3, 4 to the 7, 1, 3. All the girls run game like a referee. From 424 to NYC. Big waist, cause emergency. I wanna get through to you tonight. Say you want me on your time. Baby, it's getting late. Stop teasing me, sweetheart. Girl, you get lonely in the night. That just sound like TMI. When you stop teasing, I'll start pleasing you real nice.
That was Mac HD and Kobe Johns there with TMI. Now, Mac HD is a High-Eton-born DJ and producer with over 100 million streams and a rapidly growing global audience. His sounds blends Afro house, Afro beats, R&B and global electronic rhythm into immersive sonic identity that connects deeply with listeners, whether through his original productions or his live DJ sets. Raised in Haiti and now based in New York, Mac's musical journey began as a form of escape and expression. After losing both parents at a young age, music became his anchor. And that's very true, isn't it? Because music soothes us and music heals us. And it's a creative expressionism that a lot of people find a lot of solace in. And certainly Mac HD is creating some fabulous music. Now, next up is Balk at the Moon. This is a strange title, but I think you're going to enjoy this song. This is from the album The Glorious Rebirth of a Half-Assed Musician. This is Meditation of the Mantis.
You said I want to eat you, and I misunderstood. But it's hard to walk away now, on 6 legs made of wood. But I love to walk beside you, in sun or in the rain. But just because you're lonely, please don't lay it in my brain. Well, I know you can hear me. Here comes as no surprise. La la la. You talk domestication, and I misunderstood. Now it's time for indigestion, and I realize I'm your food. One day when this is over, you're lying in your den, in suspended animation. You're breathing through your skin, and I know you can hear me. It comes as no surprise. La da da. Grubs are slowly hatching. Well, I feel I've made new friends. Well, I'll never be alone now at my parasitic end. You rub your legs together. Oh, baby, how it sings. Well, I'll be with you forever. Please stop chewing on my wings. I know you can hear me. It comes as no surprise. Well, I know you can hear me. It comes as no surprise. La la la.
brainchild of English-Australian musician-songwriter Stuart Bulk, based in Adelaide, a lesser-known Australian city. This is the long-time-coming band project, which first saw the single Morning Herald released in November 2025. That was Bulk at the Moon from the album The Glorious Rebirth of a Half-Arsed Musician. That was Meditation of the Mantis. Next up is a band hailing from Oxford music scene, and they are already earning an impressive live reputation on the vibrant scene there in Oxfordshire. Black Hats are Ian Budd, Nick Breakspear and Mark Franklin, and this is their track Witness to Everything Gets Louder.
Fit figured out. It gives me heartburn, like stuck in bad traffic jams. Give me bright lights, give me best days and nights. Hold a hand through this pause when it's bad we will call. It's not a lost cause. We to fight, do not fall. Witness to everything. All we want's for the future to rearrange, and all we want is for nothing to stay the same. We're witnesses to everything. We hold a hand, we bring you in. Drive each other wild, a clenched fist in the sand. You drive conversations like moving on a fast open road, avoiding everything. Give me bright lights, give me best days and nights. Hold a hand through this pause when it's bad we will call. It's not a lost cause. We the fight, do not call. Witness to everything. All we want's for the future to rearrange, and all we want is for nothing to stay the same. Witnesses to everything. We hold a hand, we bring you in, and all we want's for the future to rearrange, and all we want is for nothing to stay the same. Witnesses to everything. We hold a hand, we bring you in, and all we want, and all we want. For the future to rearrange, and all we want is for nothing to stay the same. Witnesses to everything. We hold a hand, we bring you in.
That was Black Hats there with Witness to Everything Gets Louder. Now next up, this next band is a crossover of pop, Afrobeat and Austrian yodeling and other folkloristic elements, with popular Austrian singers and musicians and spiritual lyrics in different languages mixed with inner Austrian slang. Visually, they are more like Beauty and the Beast. Now, you're going to have to read them up because it's absolutely brilliant, this next track. And they've already had over, let me just double check this, yep, it's right, 62,000 streams on Spotify. This is Mystic Alpin with On, and this is featuring Eric Papilea.
Walking on water, walking on water, walking on air, walking on air. Walking through stops and goes through high and lows to be there.
Walking through silence, on ashes and dust. After feels and doubt, what it's all about, it's a matter of trust.
On and on, the way it goes. On and on, the river flows. On and on, the bond is strong.
broken glass, green, green grass to the rainbow bridge. Walking on lifers, 'cause whenever we drop, oh, we won't give it up. We'll never ever stop till we reach the top. On and on, the way it goes. On and on, the river flows. On and on, the bond is strong. On and on and on.
If ever we needed to be reminded of just being and just being still and taking in all the good things that are in our lives instead of having all the negativity that the news and the media are bombarding us all with, aren't we? Thank goodness we've got tonight's show because we can escape together in some fabulous music like Mr. Alpin there with On and On. Next up, Northern Lyrics has been very busy again. I'm getting an influx of new music from Northern Lyrics, and this is another track for you to enjoy. This is Devil's Gate.
We rise like the thunder, we'll break those chains of fate. So don't you be afraid, girl, there's no time to wait. We've walked through the fire while the devil played his game. Cards on the table, we played our final ace. Why do the birds still fly after dawn? When hope is out of reach, when the devil's at his peak. Why did the rain come down on our flame? Through the fire we still remain. We played the devil's game. We rise like the thunder, we break those chains of fate. Don't you be afraid, girl, down through the devil's gate. Why do the birds still fly after dawn? When hope is out of reach, when the devil's at his peak. Why did the rain come down on our flame? Through the fire we still remain. We played the devil's game. Through the fire we still remain. We played the devil's game. Don't you be afraid, down through the devil's gate.
That was UK-based singer-songwriter Northern Lyrics there, blending the sounds of country, soul, pop and Irish music into a unique style that resonates with listeners around the world. Next up is Canadian prairie city of Winnipeg. This is Garnet Betts. This is from the album Moonlight Door, and this is Gone Like the Wind. Now I can see on Spotify he's only got one monthly listener. Come on, folks, we can show Garnet Betts a little bit more appreciation, can't we? Please go like, follow and share some of his music because it's really lovely, and I think you'll agree you're going to enjoy this. Gone Like the Wind by Garnet Betts.
catch that sound in the moonlight in the desert. We'd come and go through the hills. We'd wait quiet on a tall desert night to prove we all heard it still. Blowing through Joshua Tree off the clouds, you and me, they played live in the desert. But they were gone like the wind. Some said it was a station from a trailer in the night, or a ghost band on a moonlight hill. We drive out to find that sound out of sight. Found the music, but the band we never will. Blowing through Joshua Tree off the clouds, you and me, they played live in the desert. But they were gone like the wind. Gone like the wind. Should have been so easy to find. They played clear as the night sky. The coyote cried, but one more climb and you'd pass them by. The hills have their secret song. These secrets never die, they just live on and on. Blowing through Joshua Tree off the clouds, you and me, they played live in the desert. But they were gone like the wind. Gone like the wind. Legend goes, there's a moonlight door in the desert that disappeared when you got near. Tire tracks, a cold fire, the morning chill. But I hear them so loud, playing down the years. Blowing through Joshua Tree off the clouds, you and me, they played live in the desert. They played all night in the desert, but they were gone like the wind. Gone like the wind.
Now then, that was Garnet Betts there from the album Moonlight Door. That was Gone Like the Wind. What a beautiful track that was too. Now, pens and pencils at the ready, new artists for you to get to know, like and love. This is a Kind of a Dream with their track called Hold On. This is none other than Thyri Hernot and Louv Marley. That is their band. New artist for you to get to know, like and love, and I think you're going to like this. It's a really lovely, cool, crisp track for us to get to know, like and love, and they're going to lead us into, guess what? The last set. I better check on the time. A great track there from the new artist I've introduced you to, Kind of Dream, with Hold On. Now, before I introduce the last track, because we have run out of time, I knew we would, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for joining me this evening. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. I hope you've enjoyed all the artists that we've showcased tonight. Don't forget that on Sunday at 7 o'clock, XP TV will be airing the TV video show from all of the artists that you're listening to on my show. You can download that app on your smartphone, or if you've got an Amazon device, you'll be able to tune into XP TV3, or just head on over to our website. You'll be able to press play from there. On after me is the incredible magician Harry Cooley, who's going to cook up some musical magic for you, I think, to take you into the early hours of Sunday morning. So all that remains is for me to say goodnight and God bless. And here, hot off the press, is a brand new track from Matrix Div, featuring a new collaboration artist that he's been working with, Asa. This is Turn Me On, and they've already been turning ears on with the release of this new track. So enjoy this, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, enjoy the rest of your weekend now the sun is shining, and I will see you next week here on Let's Get It On with me, Suzanne Letting.